My stepbrother canceled 40 reservations at my inherited restaurant for NYE. I never imagined I'd be writing this, but after what happened on New Year's Eve, I need to document everything. Maybe it'll help someone else dealing with entitled family members who think they can take whatever they want. My name is Sarah, I'm 27, and I'm a professionally trained chef who inherited my grandmother's restaurant 6 months ago. Nana's Place is a small 40-seat Italian restaurant in Fairfield, Connecticut, that's been serving authentic Sicilian cuisine since 1968. It's not fancy, red checkered tablecloths, photos of Sicily on the walls, and the same wooden tables my grandmother bought secondhand when she first opened. But for 3 generations of local families, it's been their celebration spot, their comfort food haven, their home away from home. My grandmother, Rosa Benedetto, came to America with nothing but a suitcase and her mother's recipe book. She worked 3 jobs, saved every penny, and opened this restaurant when everyone told her a divorced Italian woman couldn't run a business. She proved them wrong for 54 years. When she passed last April, she left the restaurant to me, not to my father, not to be split among the family, but specifically to me. The will was clear. To my granddaughter Sarah, who carries not just my recipes but my spirit in the kitchen, I leave Nana's Place. She alone understands that this is not just a business, but a legacy of love, hard work, and authenticity. This is where the problems began. My parents divorced when I was 15, a messy split that left Dad bitter and searching for validation. 3 years ago, at 58, he married Monica, a 45-year-old real estate agent who specialized in convincing elderly clients to sell family homes to developers. Monica came with Tyler, her 26-year-old son from a previous relationship, who called himself a hospitality consultant and experience curator. Tyler's entire qualification for this self-appointed title consisted of maintaining an Instagram account where he posted pictures of restaurant meals with captions like, "Interesting attempt at fusion, but the flavor profiles lack cohesion," or, "With proper consultation, this establishment could transcend its pedestrian roots." He had 30,000 followers, mostly bought, and used this influence to demand free meals and special treatment wherever he went. When the will was read, Dad's face went dark. Monica immediately whispered something about contesting on grounds of undue influence. Tyler just stared at me with this calculating look that made my skin crawl. For the first few months after I took over, they'd show up randomly. Monica would walk through during dinner service, talking loudly on her phone about how dated everything looked and how the place desperately needed modernization. Tyler would photograph dishes without permission, then post critical reviews on his social media, always ending with, "DM me for consultation services to elevate your establishment." I tried to maintain peace for Dad's sake. He seemed happy with Monica, even though I noticed he'd stopped talking about retirement and had mentioned taking out a second mortgage to help with Monica's investment opportunities. When I questioned him about it, he got defensive, saying Monica understood business in ways our family never had. The real trouble started in early December. I'd been planning our New Year's Eve service for months, Nana's famous feast of 7 fishes, something she only made for the most special occasions. It was a 7-course meal featuring traditional Sicilian seafood preparations, each course paired with specific wines. The menu was labor-intensive and required expensive ingredients, so I priced it at $85 per person, already stretching what our regular customers usually spent, but they were excited about experiencing this traditional feast. We opened reservations on November 1st. Within 3 days, all 40 seats were booked. Mrs. Patterson, who'd been coming since opening day in 1968, reserved a table for 6 to celebrate her 50th wedding anniversary. The Giovanetti family booked for 8. Their son was coming home from military deployment in Japan. The Morettas reserved for 12, bringing 4 generations together. These weren't just reservations. They were milestones, celebrations, family moments. On December 17th, a Tuesday, I arrived at my usual time, 5:30 in the morning, to find the front door unlocked. My heart stopped. We'd never had a break-in, but the cash register held yesterday's deposits. I grabbed my phone to call 911, then heard voices from the office. Tyler was sitting at my desk, logged into my computer, typing rapidly. Monica stood behind him, holding the spare key I kept hidden under the ancient planter out back, something only family knew about. "What the hell are you doing?" I demanded, my voice shaking with rage more than fear. Tyler didn't even look up. "Optimizing your revenue stream. You really should use better passwords than your grandmother's birthday. Get out. Both of you." Monica stepped forward with that condescending smile she'd perfected. "Sarah, sweetie, we're trying to help. Tyler's been analyzing your bookings, and frankly, you're leaving money on the table. These people paying $85? Tyler has connections willing to pay $500. That's when I saw what Tyler had done on the screen. He'd canceled every single New Year's reservation and replaced them with 20 names I didn't recognize, at $500 per person, for something called an exclusive culinary investment experience curated by Tyler Morrison of Morrison Hospitality Ventures. You canceled Mrs. Patterson's anniversary dinner? I couldn't breathe. The Giovanettis, the Morettas. These people made these reservations months ago. Tyler finally looked up, leaning back in my chair, my grandmother's chair, with this smug expression that made me want to scream. Those geriatric locals were paying pennies. I've got crypto entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and actual food investors. 20 people at $500 each, that's $10,000 versus your pathetic $3,400. It's basic math. It's theft, I shot back. And fraud. You're not authorized to make any changes to my business. Your business. Monica laughed. This is a family asset. Your father agrees it should benefit everyone. In fact, he's already invested $15,000 in Tyler's consulting firm to make this transformation happen. My stomach dropped. Dad did what? He believes in Tyler's vision, Monica said smoothly. A complete transformation. Molecular gastronomy, NFT minting of signature dishes, cryptocurrency payment options. This dusty little place could become Connecticut's premier investment dining experience. I pulled out my phone and started recording. So you're admitting you broke in here, accessed my computer without permission, and fraudulently canceled reservations? Tyler stood up fast, trying to grab my phone. I stepped back. I'm calling the police, I said. Go ahead, Tyler sneered. I'll tell them I'm family helping with the family business. I've already posted about the New Year's transformation on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. My followers are excited. Back out now, and you'll look completely unprofessional. I've tagged food critics, journalists, everyone who matters in Connecticut dining. They left, but not before Monica mentioned that my father would be devastated by my lack of family loyalty, and Tyler warned me that crossing him would be career suicide in the hospitality industry. The recovery mission. I spent the next 6 hours calling every single canceled reservation. Mrs. Patterson was sobbing when I reached her. She'd already told her entire family about the anniversary dinner, recreating the exact meal from 50 years ago. The Giovanettis were crushed. Their son had specifically requested Nana's feast, having dreamed about it during his deployment. Each call broke my heart and strengthened my resolve. Marcus, my sous chef who'd worked with Nana for 15 years, arrived for his shift to find me surrounded by papers, laptop open, phone pressed to my ear. What's wrong? He asked. When I explained, his face went from confusion to fury. That boy, that ridiculous boy who asked me if we'd heard of deconstructed cuisine last month, he thinks he can run this place? He's already taking deposits, I said, showing him Tyler's Venmo account where he'd received $200 reservation deposits from 15 people. That's fraud, Marcus said. Plain and simple. I called my friend Jamie, a corporate lawyer who'd helped with the restaurant's legal transition after Nana passed. Sarah, this is serious, she said after I explained everything. Breaking and entering, computer fraud, wire fraud since he's taking payments across state lines. But here's the thing, if you just report it now, he'll claim misunderstanding, maybe pay some money back, and walk away. You need documentation. What kind of documentation? Everything. Screenshot all his posts, save all emails, record any interactions. Let him dig himself deeper. People like this always do. That afternoon, Dad called. His voice sounded tired, defeated almost. Sarah, Monica says you're being difficult about New Year's. Dad, they broke into my restaurant. Monica has a key. That's not breaking in. She has a hidden spare key that she used without permission to allow Tyler to commit fraud. Dad, he's taken deposits from people for an event that doesn't exist. It could exist if you'd cooperate. Monica showed me the numbers. 10,000 in one night, Sarah. Think about what that could mean for the business. It means betraying every customer who supported us for generations. Dad, did you really give them $15,000? The silence stretched. It's an investment in the family's future. It's theft from your retirement, Dad. He hung up. The escalation. Over the next 3 days, Tyler ramped up his campaign. He created a website, Nana's Place, reimagined, using photos stolen from our social media. He listed himself as Executive Experience Curator, and me as merely kitchen staff. The website promised molecular gastronomy interpretations of rustic cuisine, NFT minting of each course for investment portfolios, cryptocurrency payment options, and networking with verified venture capitalists. He'd also posted a video tour of the restaurant, filmed when I wasn't there, narrating how he would transform this quaint relic into a modern hospitality investment platform. In the video, he actually said, the previous management lacked vision, but under Morrison Hospitality Ventures, this space will achieve its true potential. The comments were brutal. Real food critics called it pretentious garbage. Local customers were confused and angry. But a handful of Tyler's fake follower accounts praised his revolutionary vision and disruption of traditional dining paradigms. Then came the email blast. Tyler sent a message to his confirmed guests that David, my journalist friend from culinary school, forwarded to me after signing up under an alias. Dearest culinary investment partners, your exclusive New Year's Eve experience at Nana's Place, reimagined, represents not mere dining, but participation in the future of hospitality. The evening commences with a champagne reception featuring molecular olives and deconstructed antipasti, followed by 7 courses of revolutionary interpretation of traditional cuisine. Each dish will be photographed by our professional team and minted as NFTs on the blockchain, providing you with digital ownership of culinary art. Our ingredients, sourced through exclusive channels, include Hokkaido sea urchin, A5 Wagyu from Japan, white truffles from Alba, Ostra caviar from sustainable farms, organic microgreens from our proprietary vertical farms. Between courses, network with fellow investors, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders in the hospitality space. This is not dinner, it's a paradigm shift. Investment, $500 per person, plus 30% automatic gratuity for the experience team, wine pairing, additional $300 per person NFT package, additional $200 per person dress code, business formal cryptocurrency accepted, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin. Remember, you're not just eating, you're investing in the future. Tyler Morrison, Executive Experience Curator, Morrison Hospitality Ventures. I called 3 of the people on his reservation list. 2 were confused young guys who'd been told this was a networking event with restaurant investors. The third was actually a legitimate venture capitalist named Robert Chen who said something very interesting. I knew this was suspect, he told me. No real hospitality consultant would approach investors this way. I signed up to see if this Tyler was a scammer or just delusional. Based on what you're telling me, it's both. Would you like to come to the real dinner? I asked. My grandmother's actual feast of 7 fishes, with our regular customers? He laughed. Honestly, yes. And I'll bring my business partners. We actually are looking for authentic restaurants to invest in, real ones, not whatever NFT nonsense this Tyler is pushing. December 29th, the documentation. 2 days before New Year's, Tyler made his biggest mistake. He showed up at the restaurant during lunch service with a full camera crew, 2 guys with professional equipment who looked deeply uncomfortable. We're shooting promotional content for the transformation, Tyler announced to the dining room full of customers. Everyone here is witnessing history, the last days of the old Nanas before it becomes something extraordinary. Mrs. Chen, a regular who'd been coming for 20 years, stood up. Young man, I don't know who you are, but you're disrupting our lunch. I'm the new management, Tyler said loudly. And after New Year's, this place will finally serve food worthy of the modern palate. That's when 84-year-old Mr. Benedetti, no relation despite the name, stood up. You're the new management? Then you won't mind if I pay my check with this. He pulled out a handful of coins. Oh wait, that's right. Sarah's the owner, and she takes my money just fine. Tyler turned red. You people don't understand business. We understand this business has served us good food for 54 years, Mrs. Chen interrupted. And we understand you're not welcome here. Tyler stormed toward the kitchen. Marcus blocked him at the door. Move, Tyler demanded. No. I'll have you fired. Marcus laughed, a deep, genuine laugh. Boy, I've been here since before you were born. I helped teach Sarah to hold a knife when she was 7. I carried Rosa's coffin at her funeral. You think you can fire me? You can't even fire up a stove. Tyler tried to push past. Marcus didn't budge. One of the camera guys quietly said, Tyler man, we should go. This isn't what you said it would be. That's when Monica arrived, dressed in what she probably thought looked professional but screamed, real estate agent trying too hard. What's the problem here? She demanded. The problem, I said, stepping out from the kitchen, is your son is trespassing, harassing my customers, and committing fraud. Fraud is a serious accusation, Monica said coldly. Yes, it is, I replied. Which is why I've documented everything. The break-in, the unauthorized reservations, the deposits he's taken under false pretenses. My lawyer has all of it. Tyler's face went pale. You're bluffing. I pulled up his Venmo on my phone. 23 deposits of $200 each for an event at my restaurant that was never authorized. That's wire fraud across state lines, which makes it federal. New Year's Eve, the reckoning. December 31st arrived with a light snowfall, the kind that makes everything look like a postcard. I arrived at 4 in the morning to begin prep. The feast required careful timing. Some dishes took hours, others needed last-minute attention. Marcus came in at 5, followed by our 2 line cooks and 3 servers who'd volunteered to work the holiday for triple pay. At 3 in the afternoon, while we were deep in preparation, Tyler arrived. But this time, he brought an entourage: Monica, my father, looking miserable, 2 young men in ill-fitting suits carrying boxes labeled molecular gastronomy supplies, and a woman with a laptop who apparently was supposed to handle cryptocurrency transactions. "We're here to set up," Tyler announced, pushing through the door. "Set up what, exactly?" I asked, not stopping my knife work. "The molecular station, the NFT photography booth, the—" "Tyler," I interrupted, still chopping, "where's the food?" "What? The food? For your dinner. Where is it?" He waved dismissively. "We'll use your ingredients, obviously. My molecular team will elevate them." One of the young men in suits whispered urgently to Tyler. Tyler ignored him. "These are my ingredients," I said calmly. "For my menu. For my customers who have reservations. I told you I cancelled those. And I reinstated them. All of them." That's when our guests started arriving. First came the Giovanettis, their son in his navy dress uniform. Then Mrs. Patterson with her entire family, all dressed beautifully. The Morettas filled 3 tables, for generations strong. And scattered among them, looking confused, were Tyler's investors, including Robert Chen and his partners, clearly amused by the situation. Tyler's face went from confident to confused to panicked. "What are they doing here?" "Having dinner," I said simply. "At my restaurant. But my investors are welcome to stay for the actual dinner, if they'd like. $85 per person for an authentic feast of 7 fishes. Monica grabbed my father's arm. "Charles, do something." My father looked at me, then at the full dining room, then at Monica. For the first time in 3 years, I saw clarity in his eyes. "What would you like me to do?" he asked Monica quietly. "It's Sarah's restaurant. You said you'd support Tyler's vision." Monica's voice was rising. "I gave you $15,000, Dad said, his voice stronger. "Where is it?" Tyler stepped forward. "It's invested in the transformation." "What transformation?" Dad gestured around the room. "I see the same restaurant, the same customers, the same staff. Where's my money?" The cryptocurrency woman quietly packed up her laptop and left. The molecular gastronomy guys followed. The camera crew had never shown up. Tyler pulled out his phone. "I'm calling my lawyer." "Good," I said. "I'm sure he'll be interested to know about the wire fraud charges being filed tomorrow." "You wouldn't dare." "I have screenshots of every post, every email, every Venmo transaction," I said, finally putting down my knife and facing him directly. "You took deposits for an event at my restaurant without authorization. You broke into my office and accessed my computer. You attempted to defraud 23 people. And you did it all with such arrogance that you documented everything yourself." Monica turned on my father. "This is your fault. You should have convinced her to share the restaurant." "It was never mine to share," Dad said quietly. "Rosa left it to Sarah because Sarah earned it." "I see that now." Tyler made one last desperate attempt. "Those people out there paid deposits." "Which you'll return immediately," Robertson said, standing up from his table. "Or my legal team will ensure you're prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We take fraud very seriously in the venture capital community." Tyler looked around the room, at the satisfied customers, the busy staff, his mother's fury, my father's disappointment, and finally at me. "This isn't over," he said. "Yes, it is," I replied. "Marcus, please escort them out." Marcus stepped forward with 2 of our line cooks. Tyler, Monica, and their failed revolution left Nana's place for the last time. The beautiful dinner. After they left, something magical happened. The entire dining room applauded. Mrs. Patterson was crying happy tears. The Giovanetti's son shook my hand and said, "Thank you for protecting this place." I addressed the room. "For those who came expecting something else, you're welcome to stay for the real feast. This is what Nana's place has always been, honest food, made with love, for people who appreciate authenticity." All but 2 of Tyler's investors stayed. Those who did seemed relieved to be eating actual food instead of whatever molecular nonsense they'd been promised. Robert Chen and his partners were particularly impressed, not just with the food but with how we'd handled the situation. The feast was perfect. 7 courses of traditional Sicilian seafood, each one a recipe passed down through generations. The bacala mantecato that Nana learned from her mother. The pasta con lo sardo that took me 50 attempts to perfect. The grilled octopus that Marcus had taught me to tenderize with wine corks, an old fisherman's trick. Between courses, our guests shared stories. Mrs. Patterson told about her first date here in 1974. Mr. Benedetti recalled when Nana had chased out a food critic who'd called her sauce pedestrian. The Giovanetti's son described dreaming about this meal during lonely nights on his ship. David, my journalist friend, was taking notes and photos, but not in Tyler's invasive way. He was capturing the warmth, the community, the living history of the place. At midnight, we toasted with Prosecco that Nana had been saving, bottles from her hometown in Sicily, stored in the basement for special occasions. The aftermath. David's article ran on January 2nd with the headline, How a Legacy Restaurant Exposed a Modern Scammer. It detailed Tyler's fraud, the attempted takeover, and the community that rallied around an authentic family business. The article went viral, shared thousands of times by restaurant workers and small business owners who dealt with similar situations. Tyler's house of cards collapsed immediately. The people he'd defrauded demanded refunds. His Instagram lost thousands of followers when it was revealed that most were bots. His consulting firm was investigated by the state attorney general. But the real shock came when investigators looked deeper into Monica and Tyler's history. This wasn't their first attempt. They'd pulled similar scams in Rhode Island and New Hampshire. Monica would marry older men with family businesses, then Tyler would swoop in claiming to modernize them. They'd extract money and leave chaos behind. Dad filed for divorce immediately. The $15,000 was gone, but he got the house and his freedom. Monica tried to claim spousal support, but her fraud conviction made that impossible. Tyler got 18 months in federal prison for wire fraud. Monica got 6 months and 3 years probation. They were both ordered to pay restitution, though most victims never saw a penny. 6 months later. As I write this, it's July, and Nana's place is thriving like never before. The publicity brought in curious customers who became regulars once they tasted the food. Robert Chen and his partners did invest, not to change anything, but to help us preserve everything. We upgraded our equipment, restored the original tin ceiling, and created the Rosa Benedetto Culinary Scholarship at the local community college. Dad comes for dinner every Sunday. He's learning to cook, terribly, but enthusiastically. Last week, he made his first successful tomato sauce from scratch, and his joy was infectious. We don't talk about Monica anymore. We talk about Nana, about the restaurant's history, about the future. Marcus is still here, training a new generation of cooks. He started telling them the story of New Year's Eve, always ending with, remember, it doesn't matter how many followers someone has or what fancy words they use. Good food is good food. Real is real. And family isn't about blood, it's about who shows up and does the work. Mrs. Patterson celebrated her 51st anniversary here last month. The Giovanettis come in whenever their son is home on leave. The Morettas still fill 3 tables every Sunday after church. These people aren't just customers, they're the heart of what Nana built. Tyler, from what I've heard through the legal grapevine, is working at a car rental agency in Florida after his release. He apparently tells customers he used to be a hospitality executive who was sabotaged by the old guard. Monica is living with her sister in Vermont, involved in some essential oil MLM scheme, calling herself a wellness entrepreneur. The lessons. I share this story not for sympathy or revenge, but because I learned things that might help others. 1. Document everything. Every interaction, every transaction, every threat. Tyler's arrogance in documenting his own fraud made prosecution easier, but my documentation protected the restaurant. 2. Trust your community. Our customers didn't just support us, they actively defended us. Mr. Benedetti standing up to Tyler, Mrs. Chen calling him out, the entire dining room applauding when he left. That's the power of authentic relationships. 3. Don't compromise your values for family peace. I spent months trying to keep Dad happy by tolerating Monica and Tyler. That tolerance nearly cost me everything Nana built. 4. Real success isn't about exclusivity or inflated prices. It's about consistency, quality, and genuine connections. Tyler thought he could manufacture prestige with fancy words and high prices. He didn't understand that real prestige is earned over decades, one perfect meal at a time. 5. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Tyler's first Instagram post about the restaurant called it quaint but outdated, ready for transformation. He told us from day one that he wanted to destroy what we were. Last week, A young woman called me. She'd read David's article and was dealing with her own Tyler, a cousin trying to take over her family's bakery. We talked for 2 hours. I walked her through exactly what to document, who to call, how to protect herself legally. She saved her bakery. Her cousin is now facing charges. This is why I tell this story in such detail. There are Tylers and Monicas everywhere. People who see family businesses as easy targets, who use buzzwords and false authority to intimidate people who've spent their lives building something real. They count on family loyalty and conflict avoidance to get away with their schemes. Don't let them. The present day. This morning, I arrived at the restaurant at my usual time, 5:30. The snow from New Year's Eve is long gone, replaced by summer sunshine streaming through windows we restored with Robert's investment money. The tin ceiling gleams like new, but the tables are the same ones Nana bought in 1968, worn smooth by thousands of meals and conversations. Marcus was already there, teaching our newest cook how to properly season the sauce, not from a recipe, but by taste, smell, and instinct, the way Nana taught us. The aroma filled the kitchen, that perfect blend of tomatoes, basil, and garlic that means home to so many people. On my desk, the same desk Tyler sat at to destroy our reservations, there's a photo Nana kept, her on opening day in 1968, standing proud in front of the restaurant, key in hand. Next to it is a new photo, me on last New Year's Eve, surrounded by our customers and staff, all raising glasses in a toast. Tyler wanted to create an experience. He didn't understand that experience isn't something you manufacture with molecular gastronomy and NFTs. It's Mrs. Patterson crying over her anniversary cake. It's the Giovanetti boy home safe from deployment. It's 4 generations of Morettas arguing lovingly over dessert. It's my father finally learning to cook his mother's recipes. It's Marcus teaching young cooks not just how to make food, but why we make it. Nana used to say, La cucina piccola fa la casa grande. The small kitchen makes the home big. She meant that humble, honest food brings people together in ways that pretension never can. Tyler, with all his talk of transformation and elevation, never understood that we didn't need to become extraordinary. We already were. The restaurant is full most nights now. We added a second pasta course to the regular menu and started Sunday family dinners that sell out weeks in advance. The scholarship fund has sent 3 students to culinary school. We're not just surviving, we're thriving, on our own terms, in our own way. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd just gone along with Tyler's plan, let him have his one night of manufactured exclusivity. But then I look around at our regulars, hear their laughter, see their children and grandchildren discovering Nana's recipes for the first time, and I know, protecting this place wasn't just about preserving the past. It was about ensuring its future, the real future, not some cryptocurrency fever dream, but the simple, profound continuance of good food served with love to people who appreciate both. Tyler thought he was offering transformation. He didn't realize that the real transformation happens slowly, over years, as strangers become regulars, regulars become friends, and friends become family. That's the business we're really in. That's the legacy Nana left me to protect. And I will protect it, from every Tyler who comes along, thinking they can buy authenticity or manufacture community. This place, these people, these recipes, they're not just mine to guard. They belong to everyone who's ever found comfort in a bowl of Nana's pasta, everyone who's celebrated milestones at these worn wooden tables, everyone who understands that some things shouldn't be reimagined or elevated or transformed. Some things are perfect exactly as they are.